Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! So I've lived here on this island for forever. It is the most haunted place in the world, so there are so many stories associated with ghosts and pirates and mermaids all the time. So I think it fits perfectly with what we talk about here on this YouTube channel every night, Descendants and Zombies. We are currently in the middle of a windstorm, and for some reason, I've got this thing where I record YouTube videos during really spooky windstorms, so I do apologize for that. But I've loved living here because I've had the chance to go on to record hundreds of videos inspired by your favorite characters from both Descendants and Zombies, and some way or somehow, I've had this ability to touch each and every one of your hearts, which I thank God for every single night of my life, because I never thought that I would be as accepted as what I became accepted by the niche of Descendants and Zombies, because all you guys have ever wanted is somebody to share with you their thoughts and how they felt about Descendants and Zombies, because I got to be honest with each and every one of you. I love Kylie Cantrall so much, man, and I have forever loved Freya Sky. From the very first moment I saw Freya Sky a little over about 10 years ago, I knew Freya Sky was going to be something so special to each and every one of our hearts, and she undeniably has gone on to steal each and every one of our hearts while forever holding a very special place there. And I got to be honest with each and every one of you, it's been my honor to record hundreds of videos inspired by Kylie Cantrall and Freya Sky, because their stories are far from over. They are anything but having been told and completed. I don't know where critics get this idea where their stories have never been told and completed, because their stories are far from over, and I'm really excited to be a part of their futures and have everything to do with them in that foreseeable future. Because the most exciting thing about everybody's future is we never know what the future has in store, which gives us a greater appreciation for time and how precious of a commodity it is. I've often reiterated what Descendants: The Rise of Red has often emphasized on having a greater appreciation for time, because we never seem to know how much time we have. And we're all far from perfect because we're all created equal. So because we're created equal, we all have a different perspective when it comes to Descendants and Zombies. So somebody feels this way about Descendants and Zombies, another person on the other side of the world feels very differently about Descendants and Zombies. And those opinions sometimes clash, or they come together, and they create something far more beautiful, because together we created the most popular Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. And seriously guys, from one heart to another, thank you so much from wherever you hear my voice out there tonight during this really spooky windstorm, or wherever you're watching this video, because you have contributed something so special beyond my imagination to this YouTube channel, because everybody has represented Descendants and Zombies in a very unique way. Something that I never thought would be possible for a guy like me, because before any of you entered my life, I was pretty much a loser on YouTube who was reviewing the scattered video game, or reviewing a movie that he liked, or watching a TV show and had to tell everybody in the world about how he felt about it, like The Vampire Diaries, which was a cool show, by the way, and I can understand why Freya Sky felt very passionate about watching The Vampire Diaries many years ago, because I remember when that show premiered back in 2010 and just how beautiful the story was, eventually becoming from episode to episode, and how it would go on to inspire thousands of teenagers out there. So if you're looking for a guy to relate to you when it comes to Descendants and Zombies and pop culture, having everything to do with Taylor Swift and The Vampire Diaries and Twilight, because I remember how crazy those eras were, then look no further than this guy, because trust in me, and I will never ever let you down. I've had a greater appreciation for supernatural lore for forever. I heard an interview that Meg Donnelly did just last night. It was over a year ago since the interview was uploaded and produced. But she thought that Supernatural had 15 seasons. I'm here to tell you guys, Supernatural's had way more than 15 seasons. It's had 20 seasons. It began back in the early thousands, I believe, and finally finished production in 2020. So that wasn't a while ago. But the thing is, there have been so much of an appreciation for supernatural lore that don't you think that the story for Descendants of Zombies characters is anything but having been told and completed? And doesn't it give us more of a reason to believe in a future for Descendants of Zombies more than anything else in the world? I have this to say to anyone who has ever believed in this story continuing and being anything but far from over. If you've believed in Descendants of Zombies that much, then you should continue on following your passions and believing in these passions, because these passions will eventually lead you to finding your light. Because let me tell you something, everybody out there does have a light, and everybody does eventually find it. Even how far away you seem to be from your light and your dream becoming a reality for you, everybody's dream eventually does happen for them. And when you sit back and finally realize that your dream is finally coming to fruition, like dreams of Kylie Cantrall and Freya Sky like they once had, to be involved in this ever-changing industry which is constantly evolving, It will happen for you, and trust me, 20 years from now you'll thank me from what I've had to say about Descendants and Zombies, because to be honest with each and every one of you, I love Kylie Cantrall so much, man. From the very first time I heard one of her songs and I saw her acting ability on a show like Berserk and Gabby Duran and the Unsittables, I think it all got started for me with Berserk because I was one of the only guys on YouTube that took exception to Berserk and wanted to say nice things about it. Everybody else was criticizing it. They didn't want to give it much of a chance. Many people had been led to believe that either Berserk or Coop and Cammy Asked the World were Disney's answers to iCarly, with how much profound success it was seeing at the time. But I think that this really was just a stepping stone for Kylie Cantrall to go on to achieve more in her lifetime, and she surely did, because ever since donning the character Red in Descendants, she came off as this fearless character who never really cared what anybody thought about her, and that really made her a stronger person. And I really wish that Kylie Cantrall would have taken more incentive away from the Red character, because Red never really did care what anybody thought about her, and Kylie Cantrall is this really emotional person who sometimes is faced with a lot of criticism. I know she was really excited about being a part of season 14 of The Masked Singer on Fox, and I got to tell you guys something. I felt as if the Fox executives are really harsh on a lot of the talent they have on shows like The Masked Singer, because they never really want to give them much of a chance. They never really gave Meg Donnelly much of a chance when she was the Quarrel on many seasons ago, and now Kylie Cantrall was just recently revealed. But I just want Kylie Cantrall to know that regardless of how critics may have felt about you, the judges on The Masked Singer and even Fox themselves, you did a fabulous job, my dear, and you've left an inspiration for many people behind that they will never, ever forget. And that character, Red, will go down in history for having a legacy being a part of the Disney company, because Red really was a different character from any other Descendants character that we had the chance to see, and because of how Kylie Cantrall had this character hold a very special place in her heart for forever, she really made the most of this opportunity, and so too did Ruby Rose Turner. Guys, Ruby Rose Turner was my favorite character from the Descendants franchise because it had everything to do with how kind of a person Ruby Rose Turner was, and how she just inspired everybody else to be kinder to people they surround themselves with. Because every day when you pass by somebody in the hallway at school, or you're on your way home from a walk on your way home from school and somebody passes you by, how many times do you ever notice that they say hi back to you when you say hi to them? Just because you're a kind person. The thing is, I've always wished that there were more kinder people in this world, and I've often wanted to inspire people to be kinder to those they surround themselves with, because you only ever have a few opportunities to make really good friends in this lifetime. Because the reality of life is, one of the most precious things about life is, you only really need a few really good friends in this lifetime. So even if you just make 2 or 3 really good friends that you hang out with all the time, they are the most precious thing to hold on to and be grateful for. You've never really needed 500 friends per se. All you've ever really needed are 2 or 3 really good friends to help you see it through. And I think that was exemplified more than ever before with the Descendants Rise of Red franchise, because Ruby Rose Turner's character Bridget ever realized that the only friend she ever needed was Ella. And she was fine with that until she made friends with Red and Chloe, because they went on to achieve something far greater. Of course, they went back in time, met, of course, the younger version of Kylie Cantrall's mom, the Queen of Hearts, and Ruby Rose Turner just brought this character to light because she had a far greater appreciation for this character than I think any Descendants character that may have ever came before her. The only close resemblance that I can give to you for a character that was so appreciated by anybody would have been Dove Cameron's character Mel, because she became everybody's top Descendants character, everybody's go-to for a favorite character with Descendants and Zombies. But I've had that same appreciation that many people had for Dove Cameron that I've carried with me for every character of Descendants and Zombies, because it was never just seen on the set of Descendants and Zombies. It was also seen off of camera when it came to friendships like Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson, which a lot of rumors were spun off of. I get that too. And a lot of same rumors were spun off the friendship between Kylie Cantrall and Malia Baker, who seemingly were there for each other every step of the way, Ruby Rose Turner included. There was just something about seeing the 3 of them together, of course, Kylie Cantrall, Malia Baker, and Ruby Rose Turner, that I could never seem to get enough of, because I love seeing beautiful friendships being put on display. So every single time that I had the opportunity to see the friendship of Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson put on display, regardless if it was for PR, on the red carpet, or just for TV interviews, it was so fun. For some stupid YouTube video they may have uploaded, I took away a greater appreciation for that, because we never see enough of this when it comes to the Disney company or the Nickelodeon franchises. I think that we need to see more of this, and this needs to be advertised more, because I think that the more that this is put out in the public eye, it tends to inspire people. And that's all I've ever wanted to be a part of, inspirational videos that would eventually touch the hearts of every fan of Descendants and Zombies who were excited to experience Freya Sky's rise in popularity, because what we are seeing here is a rise in popularity for Freya Sky unlike anything anything we've ever experienced as fans of any Disney or Nickelodeon franchise. I remember years ago on May 1st, 1999, when SpongeBob SquarePants made its illustrious premiere as part of the Nickelodeon lineup on Nickelodeon Tunes. And all SpongeBob SquarePants ever wanted to be was friends with everybody. No matter how hard or difficult it was for SpongeBob to make friends with Patrick and Sandy and Squidward, he did everything in his power to make sure that he stood out wanting to be their friend. And no matter how annoying the guy was, how resilient he was is what forever and always captivated me. No matter how annoying Mr. Krabs was by SpongeBob SquarePants or Squidward became annoyed by him, all SpongeBob ever wanted was to be friends with everybody. And I think that that's often resonated with so many wonderful people who have drawn inspiration from these characters with Descendants of Zombies. I hope that more opportunities come the way of your favorite Descendants of Zombies characters, and I'm here to see you through. And I don't care how long it takes me, even if I have to upload 1,000 videos about Descendants of Zombies, which is not that far off from happening for this YouTube channel. I will go above and beyond the requirements of any YouTube creator out there and go further than any YouTube creator has ever gone before me to make sure there are great videos uploaded here for every fan of Descendants of Zombies, because these stories are far from over and we still have a long way to go. And I'm really excited to be a part of these stories with each and every one of you. So if you guys will do me the honor of allowing me to be your voice of Descendants of Zombies, leading you in to the premiere of Descendants 5 of Wonderland over the next 7 months, I promise you I will do right by you, and I will show your favorite stars the justification they have forever and always deserved. I will post the best reviews and reaction videos about Descendants of Zombies that you have ever seen, and I promise you that I will never let you down, nor will I ever go away. Because I feel as if there is never enough appreciation exemplified for Descendants of Zombies coming from these other YouTube creators. There are very few YouTube creators, the reality we are faced with, who upload videos about Descendants of Zombies, and I really wish there were more people who seize this opportunity. It had nothing to do with me wanting to seize an opportunity to talk about Descendants of Zombies. I just loved the franchises. I loved everything about it, from the characters to the music to the story, because when you didn't have great music, you had a great story. When you didn't have a great story, you had great music to fall back on. And I think that this was one of the most powerful action-adventure musicals that we had ever seen Kenny Ortega be a part of. And this is the reason why I've kind of wanted to get in on the producing action, because I've always believed that I've had a lot to offer to the Descendants franchise. If there was one guy who was always in the theater room every day after school, it was this guy. So I kind of fall into the same category as Mila Manheim, who had a greater appreciation for theater. And by the way, congratulations, Mila, for landing the role of Eugene Flint Rider in the upcoming Disney's live-action Tangled. I'm really excited about this, and I would go see every single live-action over again in time if I had the opportunity to. And I'm looking forward to just as much as the live-action Tangled, because I remember the original Tangled back in 2010 when it premiered in the Capitan Theater back in 2010 in the spring of that year. And it was amazing. Actually, it was the winter of 2010. November of 2010 was when it premiered. I think November 25th, 2010 is when this premiered. And I remember being so excited for it. And I remember being so captivated by how Mandy Moore and Zachary Levi is the name I'm searching for, brought these characters to life. It was so incredible seeing it, and I look forward to seeing Mila Manheim's contributions to this live-action Tangle for the first time ever. When you think about a live-action, Disney can really ill afford to make any mistakes with this live-action, and I think they're really going to shine through with this one. There is no doubt in my mind. And I think that there are still so many more opportunities for people like Meg Donnelly, who I know were left brokenhearted over the fact that she was turned down by Warner Brothers to play the live-action version of Supergirl, because Supergirl has her first movie coming out, I believe, in the lateral part of 2026, 2027. There was an official trailer dropped for the new Supergirl movie just a couple of weeks prior to this, and I remember Meg Donnelly doing a lot of interviews following the shutdown of her being Supergirl in the live-action Superman, because she really had her heart set on this. But I also remember going to see the live-action Superman for the first time this past summer and feeling really let down over the performance of Superman in this movie. It was by far the stupidest Superman movie that I'd ever seen in my life, because when you compare it to the original Superman movies, even dating back as far as the 1980s, it really didn't fulfill what I thought the Superman movie of this new generation was going to be. They had updated the costume, they updated the story significantly, and for most of the movie, Superman was really getting his ass kicked. So I think that that's what really let me down, and I think that Meg Donnelly should be setting her hopes higher, with her aspirations being higher than ever before in the entertainment industry, because far more opportunities will come her way. I think that we've all found a greater appreciation for people like Meg Donnelly for how much they've meant to the Zombies franchise, and unquestionably, the contributions of Meg Donnelly and Mala Manheim will never ever be forgotten. Unquestionably, the character Zed and Addison held a very special place in our hearts for over 7 years, and I have every reason to believe that characters played by Freya Skye, Nova Bright, and of course Malachi Burton's character Victor are going to go on to hold just as significant of a place in our hearts for many years to come, because there are far more Zombies fans out there than ever given credit for, and likewise Descendants. There is only zero point 0.2 of a margin separating the two franchises, with over 781 million hours of watch time for Zombies and over 781 million hours likewise for Descendants. So over the last 10 years, Descendants and Zombies has gone on to hold a very special place in each and every one of our hearts and gone on to achieve so much for Verity. Within the first 3 days of Descendants: The Rise of Red's premiere, it had over 6.7 million views. 6.7 million views. And do you guys remember when The Rise of Red froze unquestionably on Disney Plus for some unknown reason? Everybody was like, oh my god, Rise of Red is freezing within the first 20 minutes. What's going on? Got to cancel my Disney Plus. What happened is they had to go back, make a lot of edits, and they eventually immediately re-uploaded it to the Disney server, and it went on to get even more millions of views because you could finally watch the movie from beginning to end. And I remember the first time that I saw The Rise of Red, and if I haven't watched the movie 100 times, okay, you guys got it, you got me. I've watched it over 1,000 times if I haven't already watched it 100. And each time that I've watched The Rise of Red, I've taken away a greater appreciation for that movie each time. Because each time that you see it, the story is told differently. Because it's told differently from the perspective of every fan who feels differently about Descendants and Zombies. You know something? That's what makes being a fan of Descendants and Zombies so cool, is that each time you watch this, the story is told differently, and it makes you even more excited with so much anticipation forthcoming for Descendants 5 with Wonderland, which I'm just excited to be a part of with each and every one of you, because one could suggest that this story is over and have been told and completed, or you can just hold on to whatever belief you have about Descendants 5 with Wonderland following through. And I think there are so many more predictions for us to make, so many incredible moments for us to be a part of, even though we've already been a part of so many more incredible moments. I think that there's so much to be excited about, because even with how huge 2025 was of a calendar year, 2026 is shaping up to be just as big and just as huge. We have Freya Skye's Stars Align Tour kicking off in February 2026, so that's early in the calendar year. We have Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour rumored to be happening in late 2026, and we have Descendants 5 with Wonderland's premiere happening sometime between June and August of 2026, the summer of this year, which is going to make it the greatest summer of my life. And to be honest with each and every one of you, I'm really excited to be a part of it and to share in these experiences with so many wonderful fans of Descendants of Zombies. Because given how many fans of Descendants of Zombies I've already met, I've got my work cut out for me, because I still have so many wonderful fans of Descendants of Zombies I have yet to meet. I have uploaded nearly almost 800 videos on this YouTube channel and seen over 100,000 views in less than 1 year here on this YouTube channel, having made it everybody's favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. And I can't even begin to express to you how much of an honor that it is for me, because I never thought this YouTube channel would see 500 views, or much less 500 subscribers, and it's gone on to exceed each and every single one of my expectations. Every single one of my expectations have been exceeded, because it has everything to do with how much you believed in Descendants of Zombies, and you believed in this crazy guy, who I know has been promising you that he was going to construct a Phineas and Ferb roller coaster, or be abducted by aliens for forever, hunt a bunch of vampires. I know, I got to get around to doing all this stuff, but thank you guys so much for having been here with me from the very first video that was ever uploaded, because we still have a long way to go and so much to be excited about, because from the very first moment I ever saw Freya Skye, I knew she had it. I knew she was going to be something special. And I think everybody who was a part of the cast, even Meg Donnelly, was just as appreciative of her abilities, because I remember how, much praise Meg Donnelly was giving her and how she was really putting her over. She really believed in Freya Skye's ability to really carry on the legacy and the lineage of the Zombies franchise, and I think that's given us even more incentive to believe in Freya Skye perhaps more than we ever have. If you are somebody who is a Freya Skye fan watching this video, my heart has forever and always been with you guys. Hopefully you got a ticket to the Stars Align Tour, and even if you didn't, fear not, there are going to be more opportunities for you to catch Freya Skye live and in person, because I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that happens for you guys, just as I make sure this story about Descendants of Zombies never will be over, because it doesn't have to be over, and we guys have to give you more of a reason to believe in this franchise than ever before. And I'd love to believe that I will go down in history for being that one guy to come through every single time, because if there ever was a guy who was going to say something nice about Descendants of Zombies, it was going to have to be this guy. So thankfully the power did not fail during this severe windstorm. The last windstorm that I recorded the video for was actually during a very severe wind and rainstorm where the lights were flickering in the back. I almost blew everything up here, so hopefully we've made it through the video without any technical glitches or difficulties. So having said that, living here on this really spooky island from time to time, especially around the fall when things, turn around to Halloween and people start, wanting to dress up as their favorite Descendants of Zombies characters and show up at my door and, hang out at Spirit Halloween, which I've done and taken myself up the opportunity to do. I'm going to go ahead, if you don't mind, and upload this video for you guys. Hopefully it will be out bright and early tomorrow morning for you to catch, and hopefully you'll hit the like button, hopefully you'll hit the share button, the subscribe button, all that fun stuff that comes with being a fan of Descendants of Zombies, because the Descendants of Zombies fandom are the most incredibly supportive fandom in the entire world in existence, and there is no other fandom that I would rather be a part of or have anything to do with than the fans of Descendants of Zombies, because you guys have been incredibly excited for these videos and so supportive of every opinion that I've ever had. Having said that, thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. It's been my honor to record hundreds, if not thousands, of videos about Descendants of Zombies over these last 10 years, because it's been an incredible decade that I've been feeling so honored to be a part of, because you guys have allowed me to be a part of it, because you guys made this YouTube channel happen. This YouTube channel was forever and always created for you and because of you. So because of you wanting this YouTube channel created, what you want talked about will forever and always be what's talked about here on this YouTube channel, because this YouTube channel is your YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, the one YouTube channel we created together for every fan of Descendants of Zombies. Thank you so much for watching this video and believing in Descendants of Zombies as much as what you have.